Amen. Shkoyach, thank you. Okay, we got an interesting daf tonight. Not that every other night's not interesting. They're not.
Say that every night. Say that every night.
You say that to all the boys.
Reminder to get your article, Daf.
Oh yeah, you gotta change on the fly.
I
can't believe Artschool did that.
Gotta get it right now.
I can't believe they did that.
Exactly. Why would they do that right in the middle?
I don't know. Very interesting.
They want you to buy. They want you to buy the next one. If you didn't,
In the middle, they want you to buy it in the middle.
maybe you would stop at that daf. You'd be like, you know what, I'm done.
I'm sending them an email for a refund right now. I want a refund on the whole thing.
Make it a class action refund.
What is it? What does the art school have? About 40 block per volume, I guess. That's what it comes out. Interesting. Yep. Okay, so on the bottom of Ayin Tesam base. Yeah, so Gufa, I'm seeing as compared to all the other Kutchin block, tonight's is a little has some interesting. I think some of the kashas the Olam asked last night is going to really be answered in tonight's stuff. Okay, so Gufa, 3 lines up from the bottom, yeah. So Gufa Hare Shahayu Yisroel Mechza tahor no Mechza tamei. So that's what we were discussing yesterday. If it's split down the middle, right? So half of klal Yisroel is tahor, half is tamei. Halal oisin la'atzman, halal oisin la'atzman. So we said each one goes their own way, meaning half does it with the tamei, right? And the other half do it for themselves with that their tahor. Hayu tamei and oitfin ala tahorin. If there's more tamei than tahorin, right? Afilu echad, even if it's by one, meaning even if there's only one more person tamei than all of the tahorin, then yasu b'tumah, then everybody does a b'tumah, right? And then like Gershon, you were asking yesterday, Rashi says here, afilu hatahorin, do it b'tumah, right? Meaning the tahorin don't even have to try and do it b'tahara, which we're going to get into. What? Oh, was Akiva?
Was asking.
Was Akiva? Yeah. Okay. Afilu with tahorin. So, but meaning what comes out? Okay, we're gonna see that's mashma. That's tumah's hutra, right? Not chuya. Sounds like it's just mutter. So who cares? The tahorin, tamei, everybody. Okay, we'll see later on in the block. Lefisha ain't korban sibur chaluk, and the reason is because we can't split up a korban sibur, right? Meaning a korban sibur you can't have half of klal Yisrael doing one way, half another way. If it's what do you call it? If there's a rive, right? Rabbi Elazar ben who's here? Oh, Naphtali's here. Okay, Rabbi Elazar ben Masya and Rabbi Elazar ben Yasser says.
By the way, it's the Yaakov.
Yeah.
The way I understood, afilu tahorim yasu v'tumah. To say there were 3 groups doing korban pesach every year, right? You have 3 groups doing the korban in the Beis Hamikdash, right?
Right.
Yeah. So in order to split it up exactly, you need 66.6% of klal Yisrael, and you'd have 2 groups and 1 group. But you're never going to have that. So Mamela, Tahirim, Yasu B'tumah. Because ain't korban sibur chaluk. You don't split it up exactly. There's no way to split it up. You have 1 million korbanos coming.
Yeah, but I don't think it means chaluk. What does chaluk mean? That you shouldn't split up the korban. What does that mean?
The tahirim and tameim, no?
What? I'm saying, but it's mechza, we split it. Right?
Oh, according to Rav.
Yeah. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Tumah hutra b'tzibur. Didn't we say Tumah hutra b'tzibur still? Even Tumah hutra b'tzibur has its limitations in terms of what you're able to do.
If it's hutra, it's hutra. No?
It doesn't mean you're allowed to do everything. Are you allowed to eat it?
Are you allowed to eat it? Yeah. Let's. You're muted, Rabban.
We had that a few times. It's the only reason they brought the korban pesach was to eat it. So Avadi, you could eat it.
Well, except according to Reb Nasser.
Right. There are sheets that hold you're still not allowed to eat it, even if
Oh,
Well,
okay,
Rav
good,
Nosson holds-
fine, very good.
Yeah,
You're-
Rav
you're
Nosson
very-
holds you're not allowed. Rav Nosson holds you don't need to. Right?
Rav
Rav
Nosson
holds
said you
don't
had one sheep for 44 million people, so.
need to. And we'll see let's see the Gemara weiter, and it will hopefully get clear. So, anyways, Rabbi Elazar and Masi Aimer Eina Yochen Machriya Satzibur L'Tumah. One person does not balance it. Okay, that's an interesting thing. Why shouldn't one person balance it? Right, that's the way it works in all. That's the way it works with all bezdin. Right, every bezdin is an odd number. One person. Right, so it's like Xer Sakosif. Rabbi Elazar ben Masi Aimer Eina Yochen Machriya Satzibur L'Tumah Shenemar. And we're on Tamid Aleph Shenemar. You're not allowed to shech the korban pesach in any of your cities. So it's a play on words, right? Ba'achad, yeah. Ba'achad sharech is saying we're not going to shech the korban pesach because one person. Right? Meaning one person is not going to tilt the balance, but two people, yes. One person, not. All based on this pasuk. It's not. I don't think it's any. It's not any sort of svara. Fine. Reb Shimon Noimer, this for sure was you, Gershon, that was discussing this yesterday. Reb Shimon Noimer, afilu shevet echad tamei, v'shar kol shevatim tahor, and even if one shevet is tamei, and all the other shevatim are tahor, halalu oisin la'atzman, halalu oisin la'atzman. That one shevet could do it b'tumah, and the rest of the guys will do b'tahara. My time with Reb Shimon, because of shevet echad ikri kahal, one shevet is called a kehila. Meaning it's each shevet gets their own individual kehila. That's Reb Shimon's shita. Rabbi Yehuda has another shita. Afilu shevet echad tamei, v'shar kol shvatim tahor. And even if one shevet is tamei, and all the other shvatim are tahor, yasu b'tumah, then everybody does it b'tumah. Meaning if only one shevet is tamei, and the other 11 shvatim are tahor, everybody can still do it b'tumah. Shein korban tzibur chaluk, like we said, because the korban tzibur doesn't get split up. Rabbi Yehuda savar shevet echad ikri kahal. Rabbi Yehuda, and what Rabbi Yehuda holds that one shevet is called a kehila v'havalu palga upalga. So since they're called a kehila, it's considered like palga upalga. I can't say I understand why it's palga upalga, but we're making it that there's 11 shvatim tar, one shevet tamei, and then we look at it like it's split down the middle. Vein korban tzibur chaluk, and the korban tzibur doesn't get split up. Avdi kulu b'tumah, and they all do it b'tumah. So that's Rabbi Yehuda's shita. Yeah, what are you saying?
This is really just for you. This morning, I wrote on the top of this Amud, schizophrenic Judaism, 5:15. I called it that this morning. That's what this Amud is called. That's it.
Okay, yeah, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. It's an interesting limud. But anyway, so that's basically, we have three shitas. The first shita is that one does not tilt the balance. Reb Shimon says each shevet gets their own cheshbon, and Rabbi Yehuda says that if even one shevet is tamei, then Gans Klal Yisroel could do it b'tumah, which is obviously a major chiddush. Itmar ha Yisroel mechza tahor and mechza tamein. So we said that if half of Klal Yisroel is tahor and half of Klal Yisroel is tamei, amara matamin echad mehen b'sheretz. So that what we do, right? We asked this yesterday. So what's the eitzah? We don't know what to do, right? Yesterday we had all scenarios of it's 50-50, right? So why don't we just make one guy tamei, and that will tilt the balance? Obviously, that doesn't work according to Rabbi Elazar ben Masi from the bottom of the previous summer, right? So matamin echad mehen b'sheretz. You matamin one with sheretz. V'amai nevdu hani l'chudayu v'hani l'chudayu. Why doesn't each half just do there by themselves? The Amar Rav halal oisin latzman, halal oisin latzman. Right? What's wrong with each one? One half of Klal Yisrael doing it b'tahara, half of Klal Yisrael doing it with tumah. Amri hacham askinon v'chayu tamein oitven ala tahirin echad. No, we're talking about where there's one more tamei than there are in tahirin. Okay, so what's the question? Ani hachi havalu ruba tameim. So that means that it's roiv tameim v'avdu kula b'tumah. So let everybody in Klal Yisrael do b'tumah. What's the problem? No, because he holds that he like Rebbe Elazar ben Masya, and one person cannot tilt the scales. So then, so the question comes back. So then let the tahirim, if it's 50-50, so then let the tahirim do it with the tahirim and the tamei do it with the tameim. This is what he says. The Savala Katana Kama. If you can have a Tana who holds like Tana Kama, that says the Amar Paga Paga Loy of the Kulu Batuma, when it's 50-50, everybody does not do a Batuma. And he holds Visavar Look Rabbi Yehuda, and he also holds like Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Ein Korban Sibur Chaluk. You don't split up the Korban Sibur. Now what? Now you're stuck, right? Meaning if you have a Tana that holds that 50-50, not everybody does a Batuma. And you hold like Rabbi Yehuda that you can't split up a Korban Sibur. So now you're stuck. What are we supposed to do? So therefore, what you do is you tilt the scales by having one person become tamei sheretz. Yeah, so that's why. That's the scenario. So in V'ula Amar, you don't make somebody tamei sheretz. You send somebody out on derech rechaika, so we know that they're also potter. So the Gemara says v'yatamenu b'sheretz. Why is Ula saying send them out? Right? What do we mean with tamei sheretz? Because he holds that you do shchita and zrika for somebody that becomes tamei sheretz. So that's not going to be good enough. So you got to send them away. So what's the obvious question? So why don't you just make the guy tamei meis? V'yatamenu b'meis. So the Gemara answers, if you're going to make him tamei meis, then he's also going to lose out on the korban chagiga. It's one thing to lose out on the korban pesach, because everybody's going to be tamei for that anyways. But what about the chagiga? So the Gemara says, what do you mean? But you're pushing more from the korban pesach. So after the David b'sheni, no, but korban pesach, you can bring it on pesach sheni, right? But chagiga you can't. So by meis nami after David b'shvi, havale shmini shaloi. So by meis also you can do the korban chagiga on the 7th day of Pesach, which will be his 8th day, right? If you make the guy tamei in erev Pesach, when's he going to become tahor? His 7th day. His 8th day is going to be on the 7th day of Pesach, and then he could bring his chagiga because you have all 7 days to bring the korban chagiga. You have tashlumin for the whole Pesach. Because over Ula kulu tashlumin the rishon in who? No, Ula holds that the korban chagiga is tashlumin for the rishon. The chazi b'rishon, chazi b'kulu. Whoever, if you're right to bring the korban on the first day of Pesach, then you have the option to bring it all 7 days. But if you can't bring the korban chagiga on the first day, then you can't bring it on all 8 days. Okay, so Amr Lahu Rav Nachman Zilu v'Amr le'Ula. Go tell Ula. Right, again, Ula said, get one volunteer from Klal Yisrael to go far away, and that will tilt it. Right, tilt it towards that everybody will be able to bring the korban even batuma. Man sayis, who's going to listen to you? The akar, siche, umashne v'rohet. Who's gonna literally means he's gonna ikar his his tent, umashne, and he's gonna run away to v'rohet. He's gonna go run and go far away. Meaning, which volunteer? Who is going to volunteer? The guy just schlepped all the way up to Yerushalayim for Pesach, and now you tell him, hey, we need a volunteer to go back far away from Eretz Yisrael so that everybody can bring the korban.
Yaakov,
who's going to listen? Yeah.
And I didn't look. I should have looked it up. But the Mishna is, I think it's Rabbi Akiva says, as long as you're outside the skupa of the Migdash, that's derech hakaika, your potter. There's a 3-way Machlokes about what's derech hakaika.
Oh, so you're saying so he didn't have to go so far.
He could go right back to his house for Yom Tov. He just doesn't go across the.
Very good. It's Taisus Kasha, Rabban, right here. Taisus right here. Second Taisus from the bottom. Yeah. I think that's what Taisus is asking. Right? That's what you're asking. Perfect. Very good. Very good. Right? That's what you hear with the Kasha. Some say that derech rechaika means just added a beis hamikdash. You don't have to go too far.
Then what? You're not mechuyev to bring a korban pesach?
If you're not by the beis hamikdash.
So
What?
He brings in the footnote here. It's 15
to be there
mil.
on your dollar. Oh, he brings it in the article.
He brings a 15 mil from the Tosfos Rashba. It's 15 mil.
And he doesn't bring.
He says it's half a day.
And he doesn't bring the other shita.
No.
Interesting. I hear. Now, okay, so fine. Okay, but that's what his taina was to Ula. Who are you going to get? Right? which is an interesting thing because ganz klal. So let me ask a question. The olam on this daf, yeah, this is an olam that's übergegeben to the tzibur, yeah. So the rabbis tell you we need a volunteer to go away from Yerushalayim so that ganz klal Yisrael can bring the korban together. You're telling me that you're not going to get volunteers to go? I don't know. I think I would go. I think, but maybe
If the
not.
Rabbanan said it, you get a
With-
lot of people who would do it.
I already
With
left. With or without a spouse.
Oh, very good, parents. Mastama, you left the Nashim of Paturus, so.
But if you throw into that, if you throw into that equation, the 15 mil that he quoted was the most covered that you have to be away. That's the farthest shita.
Right.
So you go
Right.
there in the morning, you have someone shech, you can be a manuyan, you can be manuyan a korban pesach. You come back before Shkia.
If you come back before Shkia, that's a problem. I think you have to come
No.
back after Shkia, no?
Oh, it's already too late to shech. The shechting is over.
Yeah, but
You
does it
just
work?
said
Does it work
shechted
like
for
that, or
him.
does it work?
You just said they shechted for him.
For him, they can. He doesn't have to be there. It could mutter la'ichlav v'shalei la'ichlav. Even if he can't make it back, it's still a kosher korban pesach. Yeah, and potentially he could come back. He can make himself an eruv. He can do all kinds of
The
things.
point is he's parted. It's to make him parted so he's not part of the cheshbon.
He is when he's out.
No,
he's
so you're
potter.
screwing it up. They want him not to be part of the cheshbon.
I don't understand. He's not part of the cheshbon. He can still have it shechted for him. He's potter.
Yeah,
He can still have it shechted for him, technically.
I hear. Well, there's a much more geschmacka kasha than that. I hear you, kasha, but Tosfos on the top Tosfos has a geschmacka kasha. That why I didn't think about this when I learned the Gemara, I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't think I did. No, I didn't think about it. What went on here? It was 50-50, right? And what do we say? We sent one away to tilt it towards the tumah, right?
Why not towards the tahor?
Right. Why not send a guy that's one of you said we're sending away a tahor guy, right? So therefore the tameim are going to be more than the tahorim. Send away a tamei guy. And then ganz klal Yisrael, the roiv is tahor. Then at least roiv of Yisrael could do a bit tahara. Good. So 49.9% of klal Yisrael is going to have to push it to pesach sheni. Okay. According to different shitas, but so we're going tumah. Comes out that we're doing tumah. The whole klal Yisrael can bring together, but they're bringing it betumah
But on the proper pesach.
on the proper pesach.
Well, that's probably better.
Okay, but that's Tosfos kasha, right? Yeah.
Where do we learn out this din that you could go ahead and be tamei yourself? Didn't we learn at the beginning of Pesachim that you really that there's an isser to be tamei yourself?
We had something like that. I don't remember what was it.
So where do we get this idea that you're able to be tamei yourself?
No,
even
you're allowed to
according
be
to-
metameh. You're allowed to be metameh. Yeah.
You're allowed to be tamei yourself on purpose.
Well, the whole year, yeah. But I think somebody brings that up.
As long as
I
you're
mean,
not a kohen, no?
You're
Only
able
a
to
kohen
be
is not
tamei.
allowed to be matame.
A kohen cannot.
Kohen and Nazir, the few people, but he's
Well,
supposed to be
that's what
matame.
those that say in the pesuk. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I don't know Yisrael. Yeah, I think so. Okay.
You're allowed to just go ahead and be tamei yourself.
Yes,
Didn't we discuss the idea that you're not supposed to do that when it came
we
to
definitely discussed it, but
when it came to
unfortunately, I have no
tumah?
recollection
when
where
it,
we
no when it came
discussed
to tumah, the sugyas of tumahs and taharos. I thought we discussed that.
I wish I remembered. I mamish don't remember. It sounds familiar, but I just don't remember.
I understand this idea that you have to bring a carbon. Wouldn't we need a drasha to be able to go ahead and time yourself on purpose if that's really
Yeah.
true?
Yeah. I
Well, I
hear.
don't think there's an Isser. There may be an Indian or a Rabbanan not to be matame yourself. There's no Isser deraisa not to.
We established that we're not sure, so I think we can move on.
This is going okay. Let's see weiter. Yeah, now we throw a new monkey wrench into this whole equation. Yeah, Itmar. Yeah, how you Reuben Zovin, if Raiv of Klal Yisrael are Zovs, right? That's what we said, that's some sort of excretion from the man, gonorrhea, whatever it is. So how you Reuben Zovin, Raiv of Klal Yisrael is a Zov. Umiyutan tamei mesim, and a miyut is tamei meis.
They had pandemics back then too.
Clearly, yes. Right? Umiyutan tamei mesim, and a miyut is tamei meis. Right? Right, but this zav doesn't, what do you call it? We don't, what do you call it? Zav is not daiche. If somebody's tumah zav, that's not daiche korban pesach. Only tamei sheretz and tamei meis. Okay, it's an important point to understand these next gemaras. If the gans klal Yisrael was tumah zav, which it is here, that's the case, they're not daiche the korban pesach. Right? Only tamei meis and tamei sheretz.
Gans klal Yisrael is tameh.
Zav.
Even tameh meis, they don't doiche pesach. They do it b'tameh.
Right, but it's doiche the pesach. If they were all tamei zav, it's not doiche pesach.
Doiche means push up pesach.
Yeah.
Sheni.
No, doiche means you bring the korban on
Okay.
pesach. Right. So again, how you ruben zavin and miyutan tamei mesim, roiver zavin and amidas tamei meis. Amarav oisen tamei mesim ein and oisen. So the tamei mesim, who are the minority, ein oisen loy berishon v'loy b'sheni. Again, another scenario where people get totally excluded from both korban pesach of pesach rishon and pesach sheni, right? Why? Rishon lo yavdi have a miyuta. The first don't do it because it's a miyut. They're a miyut. Miyut lo yavdi berishon b'sheni naveli yavdi. If there's a miyut of klal Yisrael that didn't bring the korban pesach by rishon, then they also don't do it on pesach sheni. Whenever the tzibur brings the korban pesach on pesach rishon, then you do it b'sheni. And where the tzibur doesn't do it on pesach rishon, then you're not going to do it on pesach sheni, right? So since the zavim, whose roiv of klal Yisrael, are not being makrivit, so so nobody was makriv the pesach rishon, so therefore the tameim don't do it either. So Amrlu Shmuel, Zilu Amrulei la'Abba, go tell Abba, right, who's Rav, v'yasu b'nei Yisrael as a pesach b'mayadai, my avdesle, what's he going to do with the pasuk, right? That v'yasu b'nei Yisrael as a pesach b'mayadai, that they're going to, Klal Yisrael does the korban pesach in its time, right? We said mayadai pushes off tumah. So now you found a scenario where the whole klal Yisrael is not being makriv korban pesach that year. Amar lahu, so he said back, Zilu Amrulei, go back and tell Shmuel, ki have a kulu zav and my avdesle. If the whole klal Yisrael was zav, not just a majority, but the entire klal Yisrael was tumah zav, what are you going to do? Elakim delay efsha lo efsha. Since you can't do it, you can't do it. Hachanami lo efsha. So here too, you also can't do it. Meaning there are certain times where yes, it's gans klal Yisrael cannot be makriv the korban pesach. So memela, we had that, right? Obviously on a much smaller scale, but last Pesach, because of Corona, gans klal Yisrael did not daven with a minyan on Pesach, right? Kemat, only those that didn't listen, right? But everybody else, right? We're talking about how many millions, right? It's still millions. Millions of from a year. Nobody davened that year Pesach, whatever Hashem was geyser, that the Olam shouldn't daven with a minyan Pesach. So if Hashem was geyser 1 year that the Olam can't be makriv the korban Pesach because of zav, if it's a right majority zav or a whole zav, that'll make a difference. That was Rav's taina back to Shmuel.
That's why they do it kalmar.
What?
That's why they do it kalmar.
There you go. So Itmar. So let's see. So now we have another case. Itmar. How you Ruben tamei mesim? Let's say it's the opposite. Roiv of klal Yisrael's tamei meis. Umiyutan zavin, and only a minority of zavin. Rav Huna Amar ain't tashlumin the pesach haba b'tumah. There's no such thing as tashlumin pesach sheni for the pesach that comes in tumah. But Rav Acha bar Abba Amar yesh tashlumin the pesach haba b'tumah. There is tashlumin for the korban pesach that is brought b'tumah. But the Machlokes Rav Huna and Rav Ada bar Abba, if there's tashlumin for a pesach that comes b'tumah, yeah.
So it's different than a Pesach that's bought by tahor. Pesach bought by tahor, the Zovin guys don't bring it. They don't bring a Pesach sheni either. Only tamei meis.
Yes. Yeah. That's what it seems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're more makel when by tumah than
See, right. The tumah's guf. Well, tumah's
Yeah.
meis. Yeah. So name a bahakam if
Why don't
let's
we
say this
say-
is the what do you say?
Why doesn't the Gemara say here that the Zavin should go be Batami B'meis?
Why shouldn't the Zavim, does it override? I don't think it's going to override. We had that before.
Meisif?
We had that before. If you meis, we definitely had it before. I think
It's
it's all gelling together,
But Lamaisa, he becomes a Tamei meis.
right?
He should at least get Tashlumin, even if you say he can't bring now. Tashlumin he should get.
Right. I don't know. I thought we don't add
No,
on. What are you saying?
they're saying when they brought it Batumah, so there's no Tashlumin for Pesach Sheni because they already brought it Batumah. So you can't say, well, I
No,
was
but I'm
coming
saying-
in.
If they're Tamei meis now, then they were Batuma and didn't bring it. So now you have a section of Klal Yisrael that didn't bring Batuma. Even though there is a section that brought Batuma, maybe a section that didn't
brought
bring-
it Batumah, so then the guys who didn't bring it Batumah, they lost out. That's they should have brought it Batumah like everybody else.
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay, so let's
Why
see.
are we looking at it as even if you hold whatever you're looking at is Tchuya or the Hutra, why are we saying that Lamaisa right Tzibur brought it? So you still have an Indian of Kol Hechad Avdi Tzibur B'Rishon Avdi Avid Yachid B'Sheni. Why are we even if it's Tchuya, you still have the Tzibur didn't do it B'Rishon.
No, but they did a Berishon Batuma.
So the
But
Avdi.
that's what we're learning. There's no tashlumin for Pesach if the
Where do they learn
korban-
that from? What
I have
pasuk?
no idea. I don't know. It doesn't say, right? There's no limud for this. Doesn't say a limud. He's just saying a rule. You're 100% right. I don't know where this limud comes from. Yeah. So I had a big chizuk because I was talking to somebody, a big Talmud Chacham, 2 days, yesterday, whatever it was, he was talking about these blot here, and he says, these blot are this, stiras, and this. I'm sure what he found shver was not what I found shver, but it gave me some chizik that I'm not so crazy or so dumb or whatever it was. So, okay, so whatever. Yeah, I don't know where this comes from. I don't know. Okay, so let's evaluate. The name of a hakam milfigi. Let's say it is the Machlokes. The man domer ain't tashlumin lepesach haba betumah. So one that says that there's no tashlumin, meaning there's no pesach sheni if the pesach rishon was brought betumah. Because over tumah tchuya b'tzibur, tumah is tchuya, right? So since it's tchuya, so really, they should have been able to bring it on the Pesach Rishon. And the one that says there is tashuma because over tumah hutra b'tzibur, it's hutra, right? So therefore, they're looked at like they're tahor, and you're going to push off the zavim till Pesach Sheni. So Amri, that's what we think, right? Again, because if you hold that tumah is hutra, then it's as if they were tahor. Meaning we make the zavim like they're tahor, right? But if you hold it's tchuya, so then no, they were not tahor, they were still tamei. We just found a loophole for some of them to be makrivit. So Amri like the kuli amma tumah tchuya b'tzibur. Everybody holds it's tchuya. Obhapligi. Now we're on tamei base. Mar savar tahira. Tyro medachya, that the tahor you can push off the tahor to Pesach Sheni. Tumah loy medachya. You can only push off people that are tahor to the Pesach Sheni. But tumah loy medachya. If somebody's tamei, he doesn't go to Pesach Sheni, right? Meaning since it's tchuya, so you have a heter to be makriv if tumah on Pesach Rishon. That's what you got to do. You miss it, you don't go to Pesach Sheni. Even tumah can get pushed off to Pesach Sheni. So that's why it's a Machlokes whether tahorim can or not. And now another case, if the first two didn't throw us for a loop, how about this case? Itmar. How you how do you pronounce this? Shlishisen. Right? Shlishisen, yeah. If a third of Klal Yisrael is a Zav, Ushlishisan tahorim, and a third is tahor, Ushlishisan tamei mesim, and a third are tamei meis. Okay, so we got 33% of Klal Yisrael is a Zav, 33% of Klal Yisrael is tahor, and 33% is tamei meis. So now what's the deal? So Amar Amani Bar Patish. What are you saying?
It's pretty mud that they're exactly each a third of Klal Yisrael.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if these are practical cases or these are just cases in order to learn out the lumdis. That's I think. But
Has
yeah,
to be. Has to be
look,
that.
the chayra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole klal Yisrael 50-50 exactly on the number. Come on.
Right, and 33.3333, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it has to be.
Yeah, l'chayra, it's an example. So
Especially
Amar
if a zav is someone with gonorrhea.
that's
The
true. You got,
likelihood of returning klal Yisrael, kedoshim to you.
right.
That
Yes.
just shows you a high percentage went to the army in the time of the Gemara than do now. That's all.
Okay, I hear that. That's an interesting shot in the Gemara. Very good. So
It's not HIV, it's gonorrhea.
so Amar Rabbi.
Yeah, right, that's right, Gershon. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Yeah. So Amar Rabbi Mani Bar Patish. Oisan tamei meis and einan oisan loyas a rishon v'loyas a sheni. Again, the tamei meis gets shafted here. The tamei meis don't bring korban the pesach rishon or the pesach sheni. Why not? But rishon loyavdi, they can't bring the pesach rishon. Higdilu zavin ala tahorim the loyavdi betuma. Because we add on the zavim to the tahorim, right? And the loyavdi betar because they're not bringing the loyavdi betuma. They're not doing a tumah, right? So the mele you can't count the zavim towards the regular tamei. So avale tamei meis and miyuta, right? Miyuta loyavdi berishon. So the tamei meis are a miyut, and a miyut does not do pesach rishon. They get pushed off to pesach sheni. Okay, so then why can't they do it in pesach sheni? V'sheni loyavdi because nitzrufu zavim im tamei meisim the loyavdi berishon. Because we're going to put the zavim with the tamei meis who didn't do a berishon. Havali ruba, then it's a roiv. Ruba loy matchul pesach sheni, and we never push off roiv klal Yisrael to pesach sheni. So basically, the zav is like a joker. The zavim are like the joker, right? In the cards, it goes both ways in order to combine it with the tamei and the tahorim. So therefore, they what do you call it? They won't do either one of them. They won't be able to do not the pesach rishon and not the pesach sheni. Okay, everybody take out their next art scroll. Right? I think.
Yeah. Ends by the Mishna.
Okay, so Zog the Mishnah. Oh, you really brought two art scrolls, huh? Very good. Peretz, you got two with you, or you on a regular Gemara?
I'm doing regular time. I'm still by mommy, so
I hear you. Okay.
it's so weird to just turn one page. Usually, you got to slap 4 pages when you say next
Peretz,
Sunday.
You get to relax. You get the night off.
Started in the middle of
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Okay, so Zog the Mishnah. Now Pesach shenizruk damei. So korban Pesach whose blood was thrown. V'achakach noideshu tamei. They already threw the blood on the mizbech, and then they found out that it was tamei. Hatzitz miratza. So the tzitz covers it, and then the korban is going to be accepted. But like we said, you can't eat it, which we'll see more in the Gemara. Nitma haguf, but let's say the body became tamei, right? Meaning the owner of the korban pesach became tamei. Ein hatzitz miratza. The tzitz is not miratza, and he has to go. He has to do the second one, right? The pesach sheni. Because they said a nazir va'isa pesach, a nazir and somebody who makes korban pesach hatzitz miratza al tumas hadam. So the tzitz is miratza on tumas dam, vein a tzitz miratza al tumas aguf. The tzitz, right? That's what goes across the kohen's forehead. Works for the tumas adam, and it doesn't. It's not on the tumas aguf. Nitma tumas hatahaim hatzitz miratza. And now tumas hatahaim is a very interesting. Tumas hatahaim. It's called tumah of the deep, which means that it's a tumah that nobody knows exactly where this tumah came from. So it's some strange tumah. I don't know if it's a strange tumah. It's just it's like an odd thing, and nobody knows exactly where it comes from. So it has a different din. So that if the tzitz is maratza, if somebody becomes tummy with that type of tumah, then the tzitz is maratza for that. Okay. So Gemara says, "Time the nizrak v'achachach noida." The reason why the tzitz works is because they threw the blood, and then afterwards they found out that there was tumah. Aval noida v'achachach nizrak. But if they found out and then afterwards they threw the blood, it's not meratza. Rabbi, I'll ask you, stira alma hatzitz meratza. What is the tzitz meratza al hadam, bala bosor, Right, it goes on the blood and the basar and the chaylev that's nitma. Bein b'shogig, bein b'mezid, bein b'oinus, bein b'ratzon. Whether it happens shogig, mezid, oinus, or ratzon, bein b'yachid, bein b'tzibur. Whether it's a korban that's brought by the yachid or the tzibur, whatever it is, it says here bein b'shogig, bein b'mezid. Right? We just got finished saying that they threw the blood on the mizbeach, and then you forgot. And then you found out that they became tamei, which is l'chayra shogig, right? So here it says, here it says bein b'shogig, bein b'mezid, right? So here you say I'm sorry, I explained it the opposite. The Mishna says it sounds like if it was b'mezid, meaning you knew the person was tamei and you was zayrik the dam, then that's no good. But this brisa says the tzitz does work even if you were mezid. No, what it means is the tumah was a shogig mezid, not whether you knew about the tumah and you sprinkled the dam. It's talking about the tumah itself was shogig mezid. Yeah, hurtza. So tumah say bein b'shogig mezid, hurtza it's meratzah. Rikasa b'shogig hurtza b'mezid loy hurtza. But if there's rika, then if he was a shogig, then the tzitz is meratzah, b'mezid not meratzah. Fine. Reb Shila Amar, he has a different shot. So rikasa. Whether it's a shogig, whether a mezid, it's a hurtza. Tumasai, b'shogig hurtza, b'mezid loy hurtza. It's tumah, b'shogig it is maratza, b'mezid it's not maratza. Fine. But this, what about what we learned? Bein b'shogig, bein b'mezid. It says whether it's shogig, whether mezid. Hachi kamar nitma b'shogig. If the person became tamei b'shogig, right, and then zarku, then he threw the blood. Bein shogig, bein b'mezid, whether he did it on purpose or whether it was a mistake, hurtza, it's the tzitz is meratzah. Fine. V'hadikatani. Damshen nizruk v'achakach noida, that if the blood was thrown and afterwards it became known, time of the nizruk v'achakach noida, the reason is because it was thrown and then it became known. Aval noida v'achakach nizrak, but if it became known and then they threw it, loy, that's not the case. So we say no. Hu adin. Really, it means even if he found out that it was tamei and then he sprinkled the blood. So why are you saying that it's talking about tafka where he threw it and then he found out? Because he wants to teach the sefer. If the guf becomes tamei, the tzitz is not meratza. Like a tani resha nami nizak, right? So since even if it was nizak rachach noida loy, I'm sorry, I read it on a run-on sentence. That's what we say, you zayrik, and afterwards you found out about Mishun de Boyle Misni Sefer, because we wanted to teach in the Sefer, Nitma HaGuf, Einat Tzitz Meratza. If the guf becomes tamei, the tzitz is not meratza. Dafilu nizrak, even if you throw the blood, if the guf was tamei, meaning the owner of the korban was tamei, v'achakach noida loy, it doesn't work. So katani reisha nami nizrak v'achakach noida. But really, it doesn't make a difference. Fine. Now we'll start with this Gemara, but then it continues on to tomorrow with this whole, what's this tumas hatahim business, right? So tumas hatahim is this sort of like suffix tumah that nobody knows where it came from. So the tzitz is meratza. So boy rami bachama kohen ha meratza bekorban nisein. If the kohen who's meratza, man, he's doing the avodah of the korban nazir and the korban pesach. Chutroloi tumas hatahim aloi. Does the tumas hatahim work for him too? Meaning, if that kohen who's on duty and he's bringing the korbanos, is his tumas hatahim work for him too? Mi amrinan kika minri tumas hatahim b'bailim. When do we say that tumas hatahim?
What do you mean does it work?
What'd you say?
What do you mean does it work for him?
Meaning, is it going to be matter? The tzitz is the tzitz going to be matter this kind to be able to be makar of korbanos b'tumah? If he has this tumas hatahim. Meaning, does it only work for the owner of if the owner of the korban is tamei tumas tahim, or does it work even if the kohen is tamei tumas tahim?
Tumas tahim is an unknown tumah, right?
Correct.
So
I mean, it's tumah, but we don't know exactly where, what, how it came about.
Is it the rice? Is it the rabbanim?
I don't know. We're going to see more tomorrow's daf exactly what it is.
No.
What do you say?
The suffix. It's a suffix.
I don't know if it means suffix. I don't know if it means suffix per se. Meaning, I don't think anybody knew about it. That's a pshat. Meaning, it wasn't shaykh to know about the tumah. It's a vadai tumah, but it wasn't shaykh for anybody to know about it. And then people became tamei involuntarily because it was something that wasn't known.
They for sure became.
What? They for sure became tamei, but it was a tumah that nobody could have possibly known about.
So how do you?
That's what it seems. No, they found out about it later. They found out about the tumah later. Meaning a kohen loses a close relative. He becomes tamei because that's what he has to do, right?
Yeah.
This is the guy became tamei, but we didn't know that he became tamei till after. Then we found out he became tamei. So that tumah is more mekel. It's something along those lines. We'll see more tomorrow as to what it is. So anyway, so the shaila is it only this tumah, this heter of this particular tumah, does it work only for the owner or also works for the kohen? That's a Gemara's question. So by Rami Bar Chama, kohen amiratza bekorban nesein. Hutrulei tumas atahaim aloi. Is the tumas atahaim mutavim or not? Mi amrina kigamiri tumas atahaim bebailu. When does tumas atahaim work? That's by the owners. The kohen aloi gemiri. We never learned it, right? By the way, it's halacha l'maishim misina, not a deraisa. That's what gemiri means. Gemiri means it's halacha l'maishim misina, this din.
Okay.
Right, so it's treated like a deraisa. So maybe the halacha l'maishim misina is only by the owner, not by the kohen. Bazavcha gemiri, and we learned it by korbanos, right? And loishna b'kohen, loishna b'bayim. It's a din in the korban, not the owners and not the kohen, not the owners. It's a din in the korban. So Amar Rabba Tashma, the Tani Reb Chia. We only said tumas atahaim for a meis, right? The other types of tumas don't have this heter of tumas atahaim. Meis lamute mai. What is meis coming to exclude? Lav lamute tumas atahaim. The sheretz isn't coming to exclude. If somehow there was a sheretz that nobody knew exactly how it got there and was matam everybody. With my askin, and then what are we talking about? If it's talking about bailim uveman, so then which type of balabas? Even nazir, mimahani. If it's a nazir, does it help? Ki yamus meis olav amrachmana. The Torah says that if a person dies on him, right? Meaning, and then the nazir became tamei, right? So therefore, that only meis makes him not sheretz, right? So his korban is still going to be good. Stamaza, even without the tumas time. Elaba is a pesach. Must be talking about somebody's been korban pesach. Chanich l'mandamar ain't shaychtim v'zargan al tamei sheretz. That's only according to Mandamar that says that we don't bring the korban pesach with somebody that's tamei sheretz. El'mandamar shaychtim v'zargan al tamei sheretz. But according to Mandamar it says we do shchita and zrika for tamei sheretz. So hashta tumah yedua hutralei. If we're allowing him tumah that's yedua. Tumas atahaim like kol shekain. So of course tumas atahaim that's more lenient. Elala b'kayin. It must be talking about the kayin. V'shmami no hutru like tumas atahaim. And we learn out from this that we're mattering the tumas atahaim. Some of Yosef no. So that's what we're saying. It must be that the kayin does have tumas atahaim. It's really talking about the bailim. Only the owners have tumas atahaim. Pesach and it's talking about korban pesach. Ulamute tumas atahaim de ziva. It's not coming to exclude tumas atahaim of sheretz. It's coming to exclude that there is no tumas atahaim of ziva. Okay, we'll stop over here. This second number was not so easy, but all right. Bez Hashem. We shall continue.
According to the Havamina, according to the
Shabbos Aliyah, your father.
Amen. Yes, amen. Shkoyach, thank you. Appreciate
it. According to the Havamina, the Gemara would only go according to that sheet, though. It would still be shver, whether Thomas Dahaim is works for Gabi Kayin. According to Mandiyama, ain't Shaykh Mizarkin al tamei sheretz. We wouldn't be able to know that we would still be besafik. Is that correct?
If again, what's the case?
Meaning the raya is only according to the Mandiyama that says tumah. That says shaytim v'zarchan al tamei sheretz.
Right.
According to Mandiyama, ain't shaytim v'zarchan al tamei sheretz. It's not right from that. So that correct. Meaning this is it's not like the Gemara. It's not like the Gemara had a foolproof proof. It was only according to that Mandiyama. It's not like a locked in proof. It's a proof according to one mind the Yama.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's not usually the Gemara. If the Gemara is bringing a proof to something, the Gemara could be mafla and say, oh, then it's not not necessarily proof to it.
But a second, but it's only going. Yeah, you mean you want the proof to be according to all the shitas?
I mean, otherwise it's not a great proof. I'm saying.
Right, I hear.
You could always say no. I mean, it doesn't work according. And the other man, could always say, well, that's what the Bryce is talking about. So I don't know.
Is the Machlokes sheretzim v'zarkin al tamei sheretz? The Machlokes tanoim or amiron?
Is the what?
The Machlokes ein sheretzim v'zarkin al tamei sheretz. That's the Machlokes amiron, no?
Is it a Machlokes tanoim? I don't know. We didn't have the source for that, right? I'm saying we never had that. We only quoted that Gemara, correct?
I don't know. I thought we had a. I don't know.
Well, I thought we only brought it Agav. We only brought it Agav.
What's Yaakov? Moshe died ben what?
Yeah.
Ben what?
Shalom. Shalom.
All right, good.
All right, Shkoyach. How was your fast? That was yesterday, your fast, right?
Monday. You should.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'm saying your fast was yesterday.
Yeah.
You made it through your fast?
Nevada.
Right.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. I wish I could give answers to these kashas. I don't know what. I mean, whatever. It's wild. Wild. It's tumah and tahor together with kachim. This is like mamish learning kachim with tyrus together. Sheesh.
Yep.
So I was wondering why I never learned the pesach sheni. Now I know. Yeah. All right. Fine. Good night. Peace out, everybody.
Good night.